Deep beneath the city of Naples lies a massive force, Campi Flegrei, also called the Fields of Fire. This isn't just a story, it's a real and powerful supervolcano considered one of the most dangerous on the planet. Instead of a towering mountain, Campi Flegrei is a huge caldera, a sunken landscape formed when a massive eruption caused the ground to collapse. Supervolcanoes like this can blast out over 1,000 cubic kilometers of debris, enough to cover entire countries. While rare, their eruptions can have devastating global impacts, filling the sky with ash and throwing the climate into chaos. What makes Campi Flegrei even riskier is its location. Hundreds of thousands of people live right on top of the caldera, with Naples right next door. Whole neighborhoods and city streets are built inside the boundaries of this ancient volcano. Even small volcanic events can quickly become a big problem for people living nearby. The giant is stirring, its presence felt through rising ground and frequent tremors. Scientists are on high alert, wondering if this is just another restless phase or the beginning of something much more serious. The warning signs aren't clear, but they're not going away. Ignoring these signals could be a huge mistake. The world is watching closely, not just out of curiosity, but out of real concern for so many lives. Once again, Campi Flegrei is showing signs of life. The real question is, will we notice the warning and act in time? Campi Flegrei sits just west of Naples, a sprawling volcanic system mostly hidden beneath the Bay of Pozzuoli and the city itself. The landscape is dotted with craters, hot springs and fumaroles like the Solfatara crater, constantly venting sulfurous steam. Tourists walk these fields, often unaware they're inside an active supervolcano. The ground here rises and falls in a phenomenon called bradyseism, caused by magma and gases shifting below. Ancient Roman ruins like the Temple of Serapis show evidence of being submerged and raised by this restless earth. Scientists worldwide monitor Campi Flegrei's every move, tracking ground deformation, seismic activity, and gas emissions. This data is vital for forecasting hazards and protecting the dense urban population. The region's yellow, tough stone, fertile soils, and even local myths all stem from volcanic activity. The Greeks and Romans believed this was the entrance to the underworld, and in a sense they were right. The ground is a thin crust above a world of molten rock and pressure. Campi Flegrei is both a scientific marvel and a looming threat. Its history, culture, and danger are inseparable. Here, the line between daily life and disaster is razor thin. The caldera hides in the plain sight, waiting. In recent years, Campi Flegrei has shown clear signs of awakening. Earthquake swarms have rattled the region, growing in frequency and intensity since 2022. In May 2024, a magnitude 4.4 quake, the strongest in 40 years, shook the area, causing damage and panic. The ground in Pozzuoli has risen over a meter since 2005, with uplift accelerating to 2 centimeters per month. This signals magma, or hot fluids, pushing upward, stretching and fracturing the crust. Gas emissions from vents like Solfatara are increasing in volume and temperature, hinting at magma degassing below. These changes, earthquakes, uplift and gas, are classic signs of volcanic stress. Scientists monitor these signals around the clock, trying to determine if this is another cycle or a step toward eruption. The crust is weaker now than it was decades ago. The system is fragile and the warning signs are mounting. While an eruption isn't guaranteed, the risk is real. Campi Flegrei is restless, and the world is watching. Supervolcanoes like Campi Flegrei erupt differently from classic volcanoes. Instead of a single vent, they have vast underground magma chambers, sometimes kilometers wide. Over millennia, these chambers fill, building immense pressure. The ground swells, and when the pressure exceeds the crust's strength, it fractures catastrophically. Eruptions occur along massive ring-shaped faults, releasing magma explosively. Ash and gas can reach the stratosphere and the chamber's roof collapses, forming a caldera. At Campi Flegrei, the main magma chamber is about 8 kilometers deep, with smaller pockets closer to the surface. Current unrest likely comes from these shallow systems. A small eruption here could destabilize the deeper chamber, triggering a chain reaction. Understanding these mechanics is crucial for interpreting warning signs. The stakes are high. A misread signal could mean disaster. Scientists race to decode the volcano's behavior. The mechanics of a super eruption are complex and potentially catastrophic. Campi Flegrei's violent history is written in the ash and rock beneath Naples. The Campanian ignimbrite eruption, 39,000 years ago, was a true supereruption, one of Europe's largest. It ejected 300 cubic kilometers of magma, blanketing southern Italy in ash and triggering a volcanic winter. This event formed the caldera we see today. Another major eruption, the Neapolitan Yellow Tuff, occurred 15,000 years ago, shaping the landscape and providing the stone for Naples. These ancient eruptions reveal the volcano's immense power. More recently, in 1538, Monte Nuovo erupted after a century of ground uplift, destroying villages in days. Since then, Campi Flegrei has been quiet but not dormant. Major unrest in the 1980s saw the ground rise nearly 2 meters and forced evacuations. The current unrest is different. The crust is weaker and the ground is rising again. The echoes of past eruptions are a stark warning. Campi Flegrei's history shows it can awaken suddenly and violently. The past is prologue for what may come. We must take the current activity seriously. Campi Flegrei is one of the world's most closely watched volcanoes. The Vesuvius Observatory leads a 24/7 monitoring effort, using a network of seismometers, GPS, satellite radar and gas sensors. Instruments track earthquakes, ground movement and gas emissions in real time. Scientists also conduct field surveys, collecting samples and inspecting for new fractures. This blend of high-tech and hands-on monitoring is the first line of defense. Data flows to the control room in Naples, where experts look for warning signs. Based on this, authorities have detailed emergency plans. The red zone, at highest risk from pyroclastic flows, holds over 500,000 people, all slated for evacuation if needed. The yellow zone, threatened by ashfall, includes 800,000 more. Regular drills and public awareness campaigns aim to keep residents prepared. Vigilance and planning are essential in the shadow of the giant. Monitoring is our best hope for early warning. A major eruption at Campi Flegrei would be catastrophic for Italy and the world. Pyroclastic flows would devastate the red zone, destroying entire neighborhoods in minutes. Millions in Naples would be at risk. Evacuation is a race against time. A colossal ash cloud would ground flights across Europe, collapse buildings, and contaminate water and crops. The economic fallout could trigger a global recession. On a planetary scale, sulfur dioxide in the stratosphere would block sunlight, causing a volcanic winter. Global temperatures could drop, leading to crop failures and food crises. Even a smaller eruption would displace hundreds of thousands and cause billions in damage. The uncertainty makes planning difficult, but the stakes demand preparation. The last super eruption nearly pushed humanity to extinction. What happens at Campi Flegrei will not stay local. The world is on edge, watching for the next move. The consequences could be felt everywhere. How likely is an eruption? No one knows for sure. Some experts believe the current unrest may last decades without eruption, as in the 1980s. Others warn the crust is now weaker, raising the risk. The official alert level is yellow, caution but not panic. For locals, living with this threat is part of daily life. Emergency plans exist, but their success depends on public trust and cooperation. Regular drills and clear communication are vital. The psychological toll is real. Anxiety rises with every tremor. Building resilience is as important as scientific vigilance. Campi Flegrei is a lesson in humanity's relationship with nature. We can't control the volcano, but we can prepare. Respect the power beneath Naples and be ready for all possibilities. The giant is stirring. Will we be ready to listen?